Well, for today's webinar, I think we should get started, Mindy, and no tricks, just treats in this Rebuy Smart Flows webinar. Let's kick it off with some introductions. And by that, I mean today's agenda. We're going to be walking through intros. We're going to dive deep into Smart Flows, learn about what it is, walk through some use cases that you can definitely use for BFCM. Q&A is going to happen at the end, but please don't hesitate to ask questions during this. You can use the Q&A function or throw it in the webinar chat. Sarah in the background from Rebuy will be monitoring it and can help address things or show you where to go. And lastly, we've got some special announcements that we've been saving for the end that we're very excited about. But first and foremost, here's who we are. With beautiful headshots, I'm Scotty. I'm on the marketing team here at Rebuy. And Mindy, could you tell the kind folks about yourself?
Hi, everybody. For those who weren't here at the beginning, I am Mindy. I'm a product owner here at Rebuy. I actually just started here at Rebuy back in June, so I am a fairly new face. If you've not seen me around before, that is why. I actually come from a fairly lengthy e-commerce background. I spent some time at Bed Bath & Beyond, if you're familiar with them. So happy to bring my expertise here and to introduce you all to the world of Smart Flows and help you really get the best out of this feature as we go into that Black Friday, Cyber Monday season.
It's shocking you've only been here since June, Mindy, because you've had such a tremendous impact, especially with Smart Flows, which we were so delighted to bring out last week. It's all been a blur. So what is Smart Flows? Here's our classic elevator pitch line. Smart Flows is Rebuy's no-code visual editor for creating personalized and conditional experiences across Shopify stores. You can see a little bit of it here in this beautiful image we put together for you, but we're going to give you a nice walkthrough, actually show you the demos in person. So let's dive in to the flow types. And Mindy, I'm going to hand this off to you because you're the product owner. You've been in it so much. Why don't you tell the people about this?
Yeah, absolutely. And like Scotty said, we've announced this last week. We're super excited about everything that Smart Flows can do. And what we really want to make sure we take some time today is help everybody understand some of the nuts and bolts of what this experience looks like and help you work through some of the complexity. We acknowledge this is a complex product and we want to make it sure it's as seamless as it can be for each of you. So when you're in that Smart Flows experience, we really have two pieces that should stand out to you from the beginning. We have two types of flows that we offer. One is a global flow and one is what we call a link-based flow. And really the difference between these two is what's going to happen to your customer on site and what's going to happen to your customer off of your site. And so those global flows, you want to think of those as your on-site experience, something that happens for the user the second that they hit your website. It could be banners, it could be pop-ups, it could be anything like that, but it's something that they're going to experience directly inside your website. The link-based flow is something you might want to think about more as off-site. This is something where you can go put a link in your socials, you can put links in your emails, and you can direct your customer to the experience from something outside of the website completely, and you can put them back into that flow. So think about it as you can take that link, you can put it in the email, you can offer something to your customer, they can click it and they can go straight into whatever part of your website they would like with some type of offer provided to them. So that's the difference between the two. That's kind of the core piece to understand up front is you're going to want to use those global flows anytime you want something to be a very on-site experience, something that's really immersive to the customer as soon as they jump onto your site. And you're going to want to use those linked-based flows maybe as a companion to that on-site flow to really build out an experience or something that you might just want to do more omni-channel. Again, those social links, those emails, anything like that.
We'll show you in a little bit here how you can use a link-based flow. Live, we'll set it up for you for an influencer marketing campaign. We'll do that on the call, but let's get into some other things about flows first. We have the example on the right-hand side. And Mindy, I love this metaphor you use talking about the differences between this vertical stack and the horizontal stack.
Yeah, exactly. Once you get into those flows, after you've created that global or that link base, that first decision you're going to need to make as you start setting up the flow and what we call the artboard is whether or not you're going to be going vertical with your setup or horizontal. And we want to make sure that that's really clear to understand. Vertical is going to really be something you want to pay attention to with should the user see this right now? And we want to think about that as your on arrival stack. This is going to be something that's going to run instantly when somebody lands on your site or clicks the link. It's really perfect for that Black Friday, Cyber Monday urgency. Again, this is going to be things like pop-ups to greet your visitors, banners to announce a promotion, redirect to a specific page, or if you're one of our advanced users, something with our CSS and JS that you can style and customize right away, and your user is going to see it instantaneously. Again, it's that arrival on stack. They land, they see. Horizontal is actually going to be more journey based. It's going to be what happens after my customer does XYZ. You really want to think about this as they move step by step after completing a previous action. This is where you're going to build funnels. Maybe it's a pop-up to a discount, to a redirect, or maybe it's a buy one, get one offer with a follow-up banner. Maybe it's something more to do with your win-back paths that guide a returning user back into your cart. These are not mutually exclusive. You can use them together. Together, you can really launch an amazing promotion with a multi-step funnel, but it's just important to understand that distinction of that vertical and horizontal. And just another rule of thumb, vertical is really going to be a structural change. It's going to be logic, or sorry, not logic. It's going to be a structural change. It's going to be that visual. The horizontal is really going to be the logic and the incentives. And so, yeah, just a distinction to understand. And when you're doing vertical, you probably really won't have more than one or two vertical nodes in a flow. Really, you're going to see a lot more horizontal nodes. That would be another probably best practice rule of thumb, is if you've got 6, 7, 8 vertical nodes, you might want to step back and think about it and make sure you're really asking these two questions as you set that up. Should they see it now, or should they actually take an action before they see it?
Now, I hope it doesn't, but the screenshot might look intimidating as you're kind of wrapping your heads around how you build it. But I promise you, once you get in there yourself and once you watch Mindy build some of these live, it's going to make a lot more sense very, very quickly. I think speaking of, let's walk through some of these live demos. We're going to be showing an example using Klaviyo segments, an example to increase AOV, an example to improve returning customer rate. Mindy, I think I should stop screen sharing here, right? And give you control. Awesome.
Yep,
Okay, let
that's
me
right.
stop the screen share and we're going to watch Mindy do some of these live. So first, I think we're starting with the Klaviyo segments. Is that right?
That is right. We will start with the Klaviyo segments. Hopefully everybody is seeing my screen right now.
Yep.
Perfect. I'm making a bit of an assumption here that a lot of folks maybe have not come in and seen the Smart Flows interface quite yet. So I'm showing you what that net new experience is going to look like if it's your first time. Once we've created one, you'll see what it looks like to have some already on this page. But if you're in here for the first time, you're likely going to see this education section. You can go ahead and hide that with this X right here. If you ever need to open it again, you just hit this little question mark. You'll be able to get right back to these little pieces of insight right there. You'll see these get started buttons. Once you've gone in here, they'll change to create flow. But for now, because I don't have anything in here, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the modal. This is where those global and linked-based flows come into play. We talked about those a little bit already. We're going to go ahead and start off with a global flow here first. The title here is set. You could just create your flow without ever changing a single thing right here, but we're going to go ahead and do a helpful name here and just say improve. What do we have on there, Scotty? CTR with Klaviyo.
Yeah, let's call it that.
So we will.
We spelled Klaviyo wrong. Don't tell them. That's okay.
Don't tell them. Yep. All right, so this is the artboard. This is what we were talking about. This is that image you see on the vertical versus horizontal conversation. We call this the artboard, and this artboard is this centerpiece where you see this primary node, and we call this a node. That's where you'll build everything off of. So we've talked about we want to go ahead and do Klaviyo here. We want to do a VIP experience, bringing in, customers we know are our ride and die. They're our best customers. We want to go ahead and give them something special for Black Friday this year. So we'll go ahead and click on our Klaviyo segments. This is a full integration. You'll go ahead when you do this and log into your Klaviyo account. Once you do, your segments will always come through and we resync every hour. So they should be fairly up to date for you. So you can see mine are already in here. I'm going to go ahead and do my VIP early access. If you noticed, this central node over here changed. It had said Black Friday, Cyber Monday previously, and now it's got that VIP early access in there. So that's the segment we want to target. Again, this is our vertical node. So this means this is going to happen as soon as my customers hit my site. This is going to run in the background. It's going to find those users and it's going to make sure we show them the right experience. What we want to go ahead and do for them, we're going to give them, we'll go ahead and give them a pop-up. We'll welcome them for Black Friday. So if they are the VIP user, we'll go ahead and include user node. And we're going to come down here. All of your options for what you can build are in this left menu. And you can see we have about 15 different items that you can pull in. But what we want is actually up here at the top. It's this pop-up message. So we'll go here and do this. We'll just give it a quick title. We'll say VIP access. And then we'll go ahead and we'll give them a fun little description here with some emojis so we can show off the true power, and we'll go ahead and center that. Now, it's important to note, you see that this is a white box with a blue button over here in the preview. Yours will not necessarily show up as white. What we do with our Smart Flows, we actually inherit any themes that you have in your Rebuy account. So if you've got different colors, you'll actually see those different colors in this preview. I'm pretty basic. I've just got this white and blue, so that's all that you're seeing. But don't worry, you won't have to deal with white and blue for your Black Friday and Cyber Monday. You can be much more creative and have a lot more fun with your colors there. But that's what we've got here. All right, so now we've got our segment, and we have what happens if our segment decides to engage, which is going to be a discount. So anybody who clicks on that pop-up message who engages, we'll go ahead and change this close, and we'll just say accept. So that'll make a little more sense here. Again, fully customizable. You can come in and change all of this, but now you can see they'll have that option to accept. So when they do, we're going to come back over to this menu. We're going to find this discount section, and we're going to go ahead and put in our discount. We're going to give them that 25% off that was in that pop-up message. This is integrated with Shopify. You will need to have Shopify discounts enabled in order to use this discounts function. As long as you've created this discount over in Shopify, it will automatically sync and work, and you'll be able to see that discount applied to your customers. So there we go. That is our Klaviyo segment. You can see it didn't take very long to set up. It would take less time without me explaining. We'll go ahead and save it, and we'll show you a live preview of what this works. And we're gonna hope that the internet gods are in our favor today. They are, look at that. So there's
So
that
cool.
pop-up. I'm in that Klaviyo segment. You can see that I'm available for this VIP access. I can go ahead and hit accept. And once I hit accept in the background, that is now applied, and I can come pick the snowboard that I want 25% off. I can add it to my cart. And there you go. You can see that that discount code is in your cart, and you can see that the 25% has been immediately taken off for me as the customer. So that's our Klaviyo segment. Go.
Awesome. That is so cool to see happen live. Loved watching you build it. I really love that metaphor or analogy of, when you're building horizontally, it's that customer journey. We can see it flow through there, the pop-up message straight to the discount. If I'm looking back at our deck here, the next one we're going to do is increase AOV.
Awesome. Perfect. So now you can see we've got our first link created. Now you see what the screen will look like once you've gone in and created some. We've lost kind of that empty state. Again, this question mark is still here. You can open it at any time and go ahead and see any help that you need there. But we now have a list of all of the flows that we've created. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that new flow. You'll see it's changed title just like I said that it would. And we'll go ahead and call this one AOV. We'll do that global flow again. And now we're taken back to that empty state of our artboard. You see our left bar is open. For this one, we're going to go ahead and do a buy one, get one with a subcart or a subtotal cart to kind of direct our rules. And so again, we're going to start with that vertical rule, that instantaneous hit to make sure we're getting the right user. So we're going to start with that subcart total. We're going to say for anything greater than or equal to $75. And you can see it changed right over here as you were typing that. We'll go ahead and close that. So any user who comes or customer who comes to our site and matches this qualification, we're going to go ahead and say true. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually give another pop-up here. We're going to entice them along and let them know, hey, if you add more stuff, we're going to go ahead and give you a free gift. And we'll go ahead and say yes, please in there just to show you how it can be changed.
While you're typing this, sorry to interrupt you, Mindy. Paul had a question in the chat. Will ad blockers prevent the pop-up from showing? I can't speak from a developer perspective, but I would say I have ad blockers on my Chrome. I've been using Chrome, and these pop-ups still get through to me when I've been using these Shopify stores. Mindy's nodding yes, so it hasn't seemed to be an issue so far.
It hasn't been, but certainly there's a lot of different ad blockers out there. If you do run into an issue, reach out to us. We'll investigate it. We'll make sure, we can get you freed from that. But yeah, generally we don't see an issue with that. But there's always, somebody out there doing something new. So keep us posted if you see any issues with that. All right. So they've got the message. They want to go ahead and get this free gift. So we're going to say if they've clicked it, we're going to give them a buy X, get Y. And again, we're going to go with this minimum purchase amount. And we're going to, as soon as I can move all of your lovely faces out of my way, which I can't currently do. Oh my, there we go. $75. And we're going to go ahead and say, when they spend that $75 on that snowboard, we're going to give them some free wax. So we'll pick that wax. You can pick all of the variants and they could select from a variant when they're picking their gift, or you could just pick the one and they'll just get that one. We'll keep it easy. We'll just give them the one we want. And then we'll go ahead and say the discount when they do this is going to be free. And we could even add a message, and it could be enjoy ski season. I know there's snowboards, but we'll just keep it easy. And we can even allow it to skip the cart and go straight to the checkout. So for this one, we'll go ahead and skip the modal and let it go straight to checkout. Once they've added it, we can even throw in a banner, and we can let them know that their free gift has been put into their cart. There we go. That's our buy one, get one AOV example, and we'll go ahead and save it. Again, didn't take too long to go ahead and set that up, and we'll go ahead and give it a preview. All right, so in this case, I have nothing in my cart. I'm not seeing anything. We didn't set a pop-up for me to see. This is a better example of one of those horizontal flows. This is going to be very user-driven. I'm going to have to take actions before we see anything take place. So we'll come find the snowboard again. We're feeling pretty purpley today. We'll take a purple one. We'll add that to our cart. Awesome. I can go ahead and get a free gift because I added the wrong thing. See, live demos, they're fun, but there it is. It's in there.
It's always fun playing with the different components and seeing how it is. But yeah, there it is. Once we hit over that 75 threshold, boom, that selling plan ski wax showed up in there.
Yep, it showed up. And then you see that banner at the top now too, letting me know that my free gift has been added. So just another way to build that flow, another way to kind of show folks along the way in their journey, keep them informed, keep them up to date with everything that's happening as they go through, and either engage with your promotions or engage with whatever it is you're hoping to prompt them and nudge them towards with that AOV.
I like this last example we're going to show. Yeah, as you clear these from the cart, of targeting lurkers around BFCM. That's, someone who's come to your store, they maybe browsed it around, but they haven't purchased yet. We can actually target them with some messaging and maybe incentivize them to spend on your store. So Mindy, could you show us that little walkthrough of setting something like that up for a returning shopper?
Yep, definitely. Just moving all the faces around, moving all the menus around. All right, we'll just do this last one. We'll call it return user. Again, we're going to go ahead and do this global flow. We will do linked based next. We're not going to leave you hanging on that one, but with this return user, again, we'll come to our segments. And I think an important distinction here, we do define return user maybe a little bit different than you might be thinking of or might be used to. So we have this little tooltip here, and that's just letting you know, for us, a return user is going to be anyone whose session has been 30 minutes or more of inactivity based on, what we track. So if that's a little off from what you're expecting, just know, we do have this little tool helper in here. It'll keep you guided on what to expect for that return user, so you can easily and accurately report those metrics back into your own teams. So we'll go ahead and pick that return user. And for this one, maybe we want to give our return users, maybe somebody who's been browsing a little bit, but maybe they're just not quite sure. They still haven't taken an action yet. So we want to kind of prompt them along. So if they're that return user and it's true, we might want to limit this specifically to Black Friday, right? So we can come down here, we can put in a date range. We can go ahead and say, we'll pretend today is Black Friday. We know it's not, but if I do the real one, you won't see anything. So for today, we're going to pretend. We'll go ahead and set some times on here. We'll make this really late in the day just so most of our users hopefully can see it. And now we've got this set. So within this date range, any returning user who is during that time, we can go ahead and again, maybe give them a message. So we'll do that pop-up again, and we'll say this time, hey, still thinking this over? Go ahead and purchase. I'll leave the close button this time. You've seen that. So now we've got that pop-up message, and if they go ahead and they click that, again, we can come down for a discount here. And we can go ahead and give them 20% off if we want to. So we'll give them 20% off. And boom, look at that. 30 seconds or less, and we've got a return user campaign targeted to a specific date with very specific information and maybe a very specific promotion that we want to go ahead and give them. We'll save this one more time, and then we'll come back in and go ahead and do this preview. There you go. I've hit that returning user metric that we just talked about. I can see that I'm going to be able to get an offer if I want to take advantage of it. We'll go ahead and add our, scrolling a lot. Favorite snowboard again. We'll add this to cart. And boom, it's giving me the Black Friday Cyber Monday. I'm not sure why, but it it should be that 20%. I think we've got a cache problem. I can try and clear that out.
It's always a problem when we keep using the same store over and over again.
It's all right. You can see all the tricks of the trade right now.
And when in doubt, clear cache.
All right, let's try that one more time. We'll come back into that preview. And if you were really paying attention, you saw I did that on the last example too. I just didn't call it out. No, still doing it. All right, well, live demos are fun, but yeah, that 20% would come through for that returning user. You did see that pop up appropriately, give me the right message, give me the right CTA. Everything did come through properly on there, but sorry that I'm missing the magic by the wrong discount coming in.
That BFCM 25 is just too powerful. That 25% off.
Everybody wants that 25% off.
Could we show, we've got a couple questions coming in. Would love to address them at the end because I just want to make sure we get to our influencer one that we teased. Could we switch stores here and show off an influencer marketing style like campaign that we could do with a link-based flow?
Absolutely. So you'll see some more tricks of the trade over here. All of our behind
Ooh,
the
just
magic
Sacred Skin,
curtain.
by the way, from my fake beauty store.
Yeah, Scotty's products are way better than mine. You're going to enjoy this a lot more. All right, so over here in Scotty's, we've got this linked-based flow that we've created. What we've done here is Scotty's going to pretend to be an influencer. He's super generous. He wants to give all of his followers a free item. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and said, this is for everybody. Scotty's not being picky. He wants everybody to get this free product. So anybody with a cart can come in and they can get this item. So we've done an add item to cart. He's selected this hydrating face mask. If we want to go in and change anything, we can. He's decided it's going to be a percentage off. It'll be that 20% off. He's put in a little message that will show up in the cart so that his followers can see, you know, that nice message from him. He's decided, again, he wants to go straight to checkout. We're not going to do this modal. We're going to go straight to checkout. Let's get those people this free gift. After they've added it, we'll go ahead and add that discount for Scotty. And again, we'll take them straight to that checkout. So Scotty, I'm going to send you this link and then I'm going to give you the sharing power for a minute and you can show everybody what this would look like for an influencer. So
Okay, great.
share and let me get this sent over to you. All right, you have it.
Okay, I'm going to copy this. Guys, we're going to live dangerously all together. I'm going to share my iPhone. Sharing's been weird. We have to wait a second, we've noticed today with Zoom, so you're probably all seeing the black void that has been haunting us all. Let's just wait a few seconds before it shows up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take a little selfie that I'd already pre-done. We're going to share this on my story. Those are some pictures of my baby that you might have seen in my camera roll. Let's go to link. I'm going to use the link that Mindy slacked me, and I'm going to say, hey, followers. Enjoy this mist. Something fun like that. Click, drag her down, share to my story. Pretty easy. Let's see if that loaded up. If I click this, we visit the link. We're on our store. The cart loads. It's going to push straight to checkout. And as we can see, there we go. I've got that 20% off my hydrating face mist, a bestseller that both Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber stole the recipe for. But we won't get into that today because this is about smart flows and not how litigious I am.
And
Yes.
go ahead, Scotty. Tee it
No,
up.
I forgot we had another little thing here, so you go for it.
Yeah, so it's not just links. When we do our linked-based flows, one of the great things we've gone ahead and put in here for you is we want to make it very flexible and adaptable. All of our customers are very different, right? They have different ways of interacting. Maybe that link is perfect exactly the way Scotty showed it. Maybe it's something you want to throw in an email. But we also have this ability for you to come in and use a QR code instead if you're so inclined. So I'm going to pull up this QR code and have at it, everybody. Feel free to scan it and go through that exact same experience that Scotty just did, and you can see it happen in real time on your own phone.
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm sure this is gonna crash my poor Sacred Skin store because of the influx of traffic. I don't know if we can see this. We've loaded it up. Boom, it's going to the cart first, then it's gonna push to the checkout. And there we are. Checkout, hydrating face mist. Wow, so great.
So a
Let
couple
me,
different options there. You've got that QR code, you've got that link, and you can see right down here, you've got that ability to download that QR link and put it anywhere. If it's something you want to print out and put it in your packaging slips and give folks a free gift later, if it's something you want to throw on your socials, put it anywhere, plaster it all over your doors if you have an actual physical location. That QR code is available for you and you can download it and use it at your discretion. So really cool additional functionality there with those linked based flows. Again, really talking about that off-site experience where those global ones you could see were very, very on-site, very immersive, something you would really walk through there. These links and these QR codes that really allow you to expand that footprint and go off the e-commerce ecosystem and really get that foot traffic as well.
Mindy, if you stop screen sharing, I will show the little tease we did off the top of some cool stuff that is happening. Ooh, wait, I want to make sure I'm fully presenting this so we get the full effect. I always hate when you're doing a Zoom slideshow and you can see the whole Google interface. I want to see like the full slide deck. Okay, we'll go here. Wait 1 second for the black void to disappear. Come on, Zoom. We're just trying to do a webinar. Here is what we teased off the top. A sneak peek at templates is coming. Mindy, could you tell us about templates?
Absolutely. So encourage everybody to watch this video as I talk through this. We just showed you exactly how to go build a flow from scratch. So you see in that upper left corner of that video when it starts over, it says start from scratch. That's everything we've showed you here today. And we understand, yes, it was pretty quick, but it's not uncomplex. We know this is a fairly complex product. So what we're going to be releasing on October 15th is the ability for you to actually just select a template without having to do anything from scratch, and we'll go ahead and build that flow for you on your behalf in the background. So when you pick any of those 5 that you see, the cart discount, the welcome pop-up with banner, you'll go through this modal, you'll be prompted to add in all the same information I was adding in, but not on that artboard in this modal. And once you fill it out, boom, we're creating it right for you on your behalf in the background. And all you have to do is go hit save and save and live, and you're done. It's kind of a click, click, click. So instead of maybe the 15 clicks I put you through, you can be done in 5 clicks or less and be live with a flow in probably what? It took me 30 seconds to do my flows, maybe on a couple of them. So maybe we'll call it 5 seconds with templates. So look forward to that. That is coming October 15th. We are starting with 5 templates. We will be building that out. If you've got strong opinions on templates that you would like to see, please don't be shy. We would love your feedback. We'd love to put some things in there that are really valuable and important for you. And look to see more templates coming out the end of the year. We're not going to push any more before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We want to keep things stable while you're all building out your experiences. But come October 15th, we'll at least have these 5 for you to go ahead and start playing with.
And we got one more thing we wanted to announce as I click to it,
We
which is
do.
A/B testing. Mindy, please tell us about A/B testing with SmartFlows.
So for anybody who has used Smart Flows already, you may have noticed we did not have the ability for you to go ahead and A/B test flows against each other. We are targeting October 15th for this as well. So hopefully cross all your fingers and toes that, as Scotty said at the beginning, not tricks, but treats. We will have this available for you on October 15th as well, where you will have the ability to go ahead and test different flows against each other with our A/B testing functionality.
Okay, everyone, now it's that time. Let's grill Mindy with as many questions as we can with what time we have left. If we don't get to your question, we will try and follow up with you through email, through our community. But let me stop screen sharing here. I know Sarah's done a great job collecting some of these questions, so let's see what we got going on. Uh, okay, one question here. Does that use Shopify functions like Rebuy's other widgets for discounting/freebies, or do we need to set up a 100% discount for it to be free?
We do use the functions as well. So you should be able to use all the functions the same way as you're using with all other Rebuy widgets.
Okay, great. Did you have to limit the discount you set up in Shopify to just a Klaviyo segment? Could anyone who knew that code add it manually to get that discount?
If you were doing linked based, you could, in theory, have that code opened up to anybody. They wouldn't have to just be Klaviyo. It could be a workaround, but I'm thinking it would catch it as soon as they hit the website. So they would have to be a part of that Klaviyo segment.
Okay. Any plans to add more segmentation options like custom segments?
We do have plans to add additional segments. We had not talked through custom, so for whomever had that question, if that's something you're interested in chatting with us about, we'd be more than happy to schedule some time with you and think through what that could look like. We are going to be adding the ability to segment based on search queries, hopefully at the beginning of next year. And we are also looking at a few other types of segments that we can add. So that will be growing. We will be building that out, but the custom one is interesting. Really great feedback there. We'd love to hear more about what you're thinking on that.
Yeah, if you've got any of these questions, by the way, feel free. You can email me at scotty@rebuyengine.com. Just make it very easy. All you have to remember is Scotty and then at rebuyengine.com. Okay, we answered this one. The message, Melissa said the message said you had to add one more item in order to get the wax. Yeah, I think we did just the wrong little segment there as we thought about
Yeah,
it. Perfect.
we totally did, but great catch. That means you were paying attention. I saw that come through. I was like, she totally nailed it. She got that right.
And that was a test, and you passed it. We did that intentionally. Does the pop-up work the same for mobile? That's an interesting question. Does it, Mindy? Do you know for that?
It should. It should work the same for mobile. Yep.
Okay, great. Sydney's question is, for link-based flows, is there a way for it to connect with other affiliate program links?
I'm not 100% sure I understand the question, so I'll answer it the way that I am understanding it. And then if I'm wrong, feel free to clarify. One thing we didn't get to show you in the quick demo is we do have the ability to do some redirects, and you can use a custom URL in those redirects. So that may answer your question. That may be the way that you can use that with the other links. But if that's not what you were thinking, feel free to reach out and we can get you a more detailed and better answer.
Here's a good question. We're already using Rebuy widgets. We're finding it difficult to add specific product info to the widgets. In our case, for example, we'd like to add critic ratings, custom product metafield data on the products displayed on the Rebuy widgets. Is this possible or going to be available soon?
Great question. It is something we would have to do development work to make available. I can check with the team who would be building that and let you know if that is something that's coming soon, but it is work we could take on if it's not already planned.
Okay, just scrolling through, we answered that. We answered this. Relevant to the influencer link-based flow example, if we do not allow discount stacking in Shopify, would something like this not work, or is the functionality different than Shopify discounts?
It will all, let me rephrase. If you attach a Shopify discount, then the Shopify discount logic will be what is honored. So you would, if you can't stack, you can't stack. If you don't attach a discount to the link, then that opens up more possibilities and that could change the equation. So it's all going to be whether or not you've actually attached the discount to it or not. You're not required to attach a discount. We showed that pretty heavily simply because Black Friday, Cyber Monday is coming up. So that's probably going to be a pretty popular piece, but you don't have to do that. And if you don't do that, then obviously that's going to look a little bit different.
Here's an interesting one. Are we able to customize where the banner shows within different templates? For instance, if we want a promo to display under ATC or P2P rather than above nav. I don't think we have that set up currently, right?
It's not something that you can do with a quick and easy button. It is something that you could do with the custom CSS and the custom JavaScript if you've got the ability to do that. So if you have somebody on staff or if that's something you can do yourself, you can go ahead and manipulate the placement through those elements. I was thinking as we prepared for this webinar, Scotty, Sarah, there may be some benefit to doing an advanced webinar where we show some of that CSS optionality and the ways that you can really start to manipulate those pop-up modals with images, with gradients, with placement, all of that. So looks like there's some interest already coming through on that. We'll talk internally to see if we can get that set up, but you would be able to do it through the advanced tools.
A 202 version of this. That sounds good to me. Did you also integrate with Attentive or just Klaviyo? I think this is for the segmenting.
For now, we only have Klaviyo. We are looking at Attentive as well. So if there is interest in that, again, reach out, let us know, and we'll start tallying up your votes so that we can move that to the top of the list.
What are the visualization options for the pop-up? I think you addressed a little bit of this, but maybe you could elaborate just a tiny bit more.
Yep. So the visualization options are pretty robust. They're more robust, obviously, again, if you're doing that CSS and the JavaScript, but we do have some abilities in that little editor. You can go ahead and put images in there. You can do the emojis, which we showed that pretty significantly. Again, with theme colors, you can really modify the theme color of it as much as you want. You may have noticed in the pop-up, we didn't have a color selector. That's 100% coming from your theme, but in the banner, we did have a color selector. So you can go ahead and be very, very creative with color on that banner. Again, you can add images in there, but if you want to get more creative than just image and color, you'll need to do that through the CSS and the JavaScript.
I love the way this person phrased this question. A silly one, but are you guys planning to increase the app pricing as well with these new amazing features? No, we've got the package-based pricing. You can head over to slash pricing to check it out. You can choose what product package you want to go for. And obviously this is available in the SmartFlows A/B testing package. So have not heard anything like that. Another question here for link-based flows, is there a way for it to connect with other affiliate program links? I think that was kind of addressed with Attentive. We're kind of just looking at which ones people would want most and then prioritize from there how we could build that out.
Yep.
How does Recharge charge for these? Maybe you meant Rebuy. I know they sound confusing. How does Rebuy charge for these? Is it when a user makes an actual purchase using a flow? So are you wondering about the pricing based on this flow? Mindy, do you maybe understand this question better than I do?
I went two ways in my brain with that. I wasn't sure, yeah, if they were asking the package pricing or if they were asking how we do analytics on the flows. So maybe we can get some clarity on that and then we can get you a better answer.
Yeah, if you don't mind just resubmitting it and let us know which one you're hoping to get the answer for. How many pop-ups would you recommend for Black Friday, Cyber Monday season? Should we be swapping out pop-up concepts for Friday to Monday? I mean, as a marketer, you could definitely tweak your language, and the more personalized you are with your language, I think the more engaging these can be. You know, if you moved to Monday, get the last of the deals before BFCM ends. Here's like our last big sale. That kind of language, getting that scarcity, getting that immediacy can be very effective. And don't be scared of pop-ups. We talk about this a lot at Rebuy because we've seen pop-ups do wonders, especially for subscriptions. If you're using Smart Cart, you can add a switch to subscription in Smart Cart, and you can use a pop-up to kind of show off what incentives you get for using that. And we see tremendous success when people are saying, hey, if you switch to subscription, you get these benefits. So pop-ups got a bad rap, but perhaps with e-commerce, if you're using them intentionally, they can be super effective. Minnie, if you have any thoughts there, I would love to hear what you're thinking too.
I agree with everything you said. And again, hopefully if we can get you that A/B testing by October 15th, like we're hoping to, I think that gives you another lever to pull to really understand what might work best for your customer base. I think sometimes I lean a little bit into that too. Your customers are all going to be a little bit different, right? And you're going to know your customer best. But if we can get you that A/B testing, you'll be able to kind of test that threshold of what they're able to accept and what's going to work for you. But ultimately, like Scotty said, we don't need to be afraid of them. But obviously, you know, think thoughtfully. They will stack. If you do too many verticals, they'll just stack. So that would be bad. But yeah, if you do them in separate flows, they'll be great.
And you can be very strategic. We're talking kind of internally about some good plays for smart flows. So with like a buy X, get Y, you could use a hero product as your buy X. And then if you had some slower moving inventory, maybe at a lower price point that you just kind of wanted to clear out to get a little more space, if you had a warehouse, you could add that as the get Y. And you know people are going to be coming for that X product and then pushing out that Y product. So yeah, if you think strategically, I mean, I know Amazon is about to have I forget what even sale this is, but you can kind of test a BFCM in October, do a mini test to kind of A/B test some of these promotions, some of these products. We've been chatting, doing a lot of webinars from other top brands in the industry, and they're saying, you know, do these kind of test runs in the lead up to BFCM to see what people are really excited about, and then start to tailor your offers and incentives towards those ones that you know are going to be really effective. Once A/B testing goes live, can we randomly split customers into different branches and see how each branch performs?
Yep. Yes, our A/B testing will allow you to have completely random populations for each variant. So you'll be able to see how they're performing.
I love all the questions we have. The questions
I do
aren't
too.
stopping, Mindy. For the threshold dollar amount, is it US currency only? Could you have one smart flow for US and one for, say, Canada?
You can have them for your currency as well. We have seen customers doing Canada-specific currencies. We've also seen British pound currencies, so we do support additional currencies. I'm not sure we support all of them, but hopefully most folks here are limited to Canada or Great Britain, and you're good to go.
With respecting confidentiality, because I don't want to say who these brands are, but we've had some brands in beta using smart flows. Mindy, I don't know if you remember offhand, but just to talk about the success of using smart flows. I mean, we've seen these campaigns crush in hours and days. Do you remember any of those metrics offhand that we could just share to talk about the success of smart flows?
Yeah, we've like Scotty said, we've had a few in beta who we've kind of just been a little bit blown away by what we've seen. And what we're noticing, especially with these global flows, there's kind of two things that are developing in the way that folks are choosing to use smart flows. Global flows, again, are obviously on your site, they're site wide. So they're hitting a lot of traffic. You're going to see a lot of volume against that. And for folks of ours that are seeing, visitor flow over 10, 50,000 visitors, they're actually looking at a nice attribution of about a six-figure number on the flows that they're running. We've been seeing gift with purchase flows. We've been seeing add to cart flows. They're all performing pretty well. Now, we can, again, in the advanced webinar, go into detail on what those analytics mean and help you understand them a little bit better. But as a surface level, that's what we're seeing with the global flows. With the link-based flows, it's really interesting. We're actually seeing that a lot of our customers are being extremely targeted with the link-based flows, and they're looking at much, much smaller niche populations. And so we're not seeing the same volume of attribution on those, but because we're looking at folks sending to maybe 100 people as opposed to tens of thousands of people, but the rates are still showing pretty good. Most people are averaging a roughly 2% conversion rate with the flows that they're running. So if you're looking at conversion rates instead of revenue, that number should be pretty exciting to you.
A question here. This seems heavily discount based. What flexibility is there around personalization on site outside of discounting?
All of it. You're right. It does look discount based. I did heavily focus on discount based flows for today, but again, you could come in and you could personalize, especially if you're using Klaviyo, really as deeply as you want to. Things like Scotty was saying, if there's certain segments of population that you have that like to buy in a certain category that you offer, you could be doing subcart total offers for them. You could be doing free shipping offers for them. You could be doing just messages for them straight up. You didn't even have to offer them anything at all. You could just be like, hey, we really love you and we're really happy to have you here. That could probably go a really long way, and you could base it off your Klaviyo segments. Our segments are obviously a little bit more limited right now. We've just got that new and return user for the most part. We do have that location one, so you could be pretty targeted by locations. It's hurricane season. Anybody in the hurricane hit areas, that could always be an interesting thing to do if you know a place is hard hit with hurricane or hurricanes coming. You could do location-based targeting that may or may not be discounted. So your options are pretty wide open there. Even though we did focus a lot on discount here, you don't have to.
Another question. Can we run the same promo minimum amount for a blended B2B and retail store, although at different price points? Kind of had to wrap my head around that one.
I'm going to have to wrap my head around that one too. Short answer, yes, I believe you could. You could potentially do it all in one flow, or you could potentially do the global flow for the website and then do something like the linked based with the QR code for the in-store. But I'd have to think about that a little bit more. Feel free to
Yeah.
send us a more detailed example of what you're referring to, and we can help you figure out how to run that. I think we can help with that, but yeah, I'd want to think about it more.
I really hate this metaphor. And if you have to drop off, please drop off. We will be sending out this recording. I really hate this metaphor of like eating your own dog food. But before Smart Flows was live, we used it at a Rebuy event with this QR code option where we wanted to basically delight attendees to one of the events we threw by being able to use Smart Flows to instantly have an item added to cart at a free discount so that they could have it sent directly to them. So instead of them having to lug home some products in their carry-on, they could just have it delivered directly to their house. A really nice way to do something at an event, or like Minnie had said, to really personalize something to send it specifically to someone instead of doing a wider blast. So, as Minnie mentioned, a good way to do something in person, you could print out these QR codes. Again, someone had speculated on the Rebuy end, if you really wanted to, you could print out QR codes, have a paper insert, and add it to your packaging. If there was a specific campaign you wanted to run after BFCM, thank you so much for shopping with us. We're a small business. We really appreciate you spending your dollars with us. Here's a small discount for you to come back in December. We could set up a time-based code or in the new year. These things are all possible with Smart Flows. Melissa is asking for the action add items to cart. Can we set up data sets for reference for the product recommendation? Ooh, that's interesting. Let me repeat it. Can we set up data sets for reference for the product recommendations? And that's for add items to cart.
And I want to clarify, I think what you're meaning by data sets is data sources. If that's the case, not currently. Currently, SmartFlows is not integrated with data sources. It is something we are looking to do in the future. But yeah, if you meant something different, please clarify. But if you were referring to that, then not at this time.
Package-based pricing would be great. Do you also charge a percentage on orders that are placed with a flow?
No, no, it's all the package-based billing. There's no additional fee or charge.
Uh, Someone said, how can I get in touch with Mindy? Mindy, do you want us to provide your work email here? It's totally up to you. If not, you can always hit up me.
I sure do. I'm open. I might regret this later, but you know what? We'll figure that bridge when we get to it. So you can reach me at mindy.spring@Rebuy Engine.
And then your personal address and SIN number, and we'll be all set. Two more questions here. Thank you, everyone who's still attending this, by the way. Can you add customer personalization in the pop-up? For example, displaying the customer's first name in the pop-up from their Shopify profile, assuming they are logged in, maybe a fallback for those not logged in, variables like you can do in Klaviyo emails.
Not through any of our native SmartFlow components currently. We could see if that might be possible with the CSS and the JavaScript, but that would be the only avenue at present. And so we'd have to test that. I've not personally tested that, so I don't even know that it would work. But if it was going to work, that would be the way.
Anonymous who asked that. That does sound really cool, though. And BO would be a really cool way to personalize it. So I could see us
Sounds like a
adding that
nice
to our
feature
roadmap.
request. Send
Yeah,
it
exactly.
in.
Two more. Melissa had mentioned, yes, they did mean data source, so we had answered that question. Thank you for clarifying, Melissa. And lastly, let's say we send out an email offer on a specific product. Is it possible to have a link direct user to a collection page and have the rebuy slide out cart slide open with the discount applied to the specific product that was offered? This way, we're closer to checkout, but we have the potential to add AOV. So yeah, I guess they're asking, instead of going to the home page, to go to a specific collection page and do the slide out cart.
We would have to do a little bit of a workaround, and you definitely have to pull together a bunch of different rebuy widgets independently currently. But if again, and we can send out something after with maybe a short additional video to this video where I can show you that custom URL, because it's come up a couple of different times now. And I apologize for doing more discounts and less custom URLs, but with that custom URL, that might be possible to get to more of those rebuy experiences. But yeah, let us get you an additional video on that so you all can see the custom URLs and how that would play a part and how you can start to pull together rebuy widgets doing that.
Wonderful. That is all the questions we had. Thank you, everyone, for being so engaged and asking so many great questions. Like we mentioned, if you have any additional questions, Scotty at rebuyengine.com, Mindy.Spring at rebuyengine.com. Lots more to come. Templates coming October 15th, just a few weeks away, and A/B testing as well. We're hoping to launch at that time as well. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your Thursday, and hopefully we see you in the next one. Just stay tuned to our socials, and we'll catch you there. Bye, everybody.
Thank you all.